Something I wanted to talk about. I'm just going to talk, there's no pre explanation to it. One of my players, very early on when I started DMing, it was actually my second group I ever DM'd for, but it was like my first official campaign that I did. The other one was just me DMing for a group that I played with when the DM left, and I just started DMing for that group. So this is the second official group. Well, first official group, but second group overall. One of the players, I don't remember, it was Spectre. His name was Spectre. He didn't like the way the story went. The short version is the players played everything horribly and they actually failed an adventure. They were given a quest to stop a uprising which could lead to war in this like swamp place between these dragonborn and these lizard folk and these kobolds. They were supposed to go like speak to all the tribe leaders and say like, listen, the resources here and here, you guys take this, you guys take this, and then you trade for everything else you need. Stop fighting over this stuff. Start trading with each other instead, and everyone have their own territory. Instead of fighting over these places, we share these places because you need water here, you need these types of herbs for medicines here, we share those, we don't fight over them, and then all the other things like spices or fruits or whatever else you trade for. That's kind of how it was set up. They went in, and the players decided to kill every single leader and take over the entire country themselves. Is pretty much how it went down. And it worked. It worked. They did manage to murder everyone. They murdered all the named characters. Like, imagine players going into your story in your homebrew campaign, just killing every named character that you like had any background to, or did any writing for, or had any story related to, a backstory or anything. Just go in wiping them all out. That's what happened. And they went back at the end of this, and this was an adventure. This took months in real life for them to do all of this, all these murders and all these different things, right? And they went back to the person that gave them the quest and told them what happened. And this person said, you guys are complete failures. You failed worse than if we just let them go to war, because at least one of the tribes would have survived. You've doomed the entire country. You're evil, you're horrible people. Get out of my sight. I never want to see you again. And my players lost their minds when this NPC said this shit to them. One of them said, you know what? Fuck this entire country. Fuck this continent. To hell with this place, is a giant shithole. I hate all these people. And one day, when we're strong enough, we're just going to come back and kill all of them too. Right? So, let's just go west. How about that? Let's get on a ship. Let's sail out of here. Let's go to a different continent. Let's go to a different island. Let's leave this place. Let's get on a ship and just leave. And when my players decided to do this, what I thought was they were trying to look at the end of the map, or the edge of the map, pretty much. That's what ran through my head. Those were like the thoughts going through my head in that moment. They are looking for the edge of the map. Fine. They don't like this story that I have kind of planned for them, adventure. They want to go west, to the edge of the map, and see where it goes. Just because they hated the stories on the continent that I made. Fine. When that happened, I wanted to create something so horrifying beyond the edge of the map that when you saw it, your instant reaction would be, oh my god, and you would instantly want to go back home. and that became the Westlands. That is how it was created from a DM's perspective. That's why it came to be. The Nyrelians, all of that spawned from this idea. I want something so horrifying that the instant my players saw it, they knew this is the point you don't go past. You are at the edge of the map. Turn around and go back home. Now, you as a player, you could never know this, right? You could never know that's how it came to be. That's like a DM could never like come to like expect that the players would know something like that or figure something like that out. But yeah, that's it. That's how it came to be. Realistically, like that's how it came to be, and you will discover so many of these things. Not almost everything. Every single thing that you encounter in my campaign, all of it, came about like this. It's an organic story. No joke. When I started DMing, it was all from here. It was all from there. I just made everything up on the fly. It just flowed naturally. And then after the session, I would go back, because I record all my sessions, and watch the session, and then take the ideas that worked and remove the ideas that didn't work. And by remove, I don't mean just say, oh yeah, this didn't happen. What I mean is I gave it new context. I'll give you an example. The players spoke to someone called the Shining Sapphire, and I pictured her as like a mean library lady, and I tried to impersonate that when they were dealing with her. She was like a teacher, kind of. She was supposed to teach them about magic and the way it worked in the world, and how you could learn magic as well. Because in my story, it didn't make sense to me that someone is special. Like someone is better than everyone else. That just doesn't make really... I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And I know what you're thinking. If no one... this is difficult to explain. Maybe it's just a wrong idea I have, but... if everyone is capable of everything, then no one is better than anyone else. Why would I play in a story where my character doesn't have a purpose, because they have a reason to exist, because they have something that only they can do, so they are useful, so they're special, so that's not a good explanation. I can't even show the other side of this argument, because I don't understand the other side of this argument. I only know I hate when someone is the main character because there's something special about them. I hate that. I like the opposite. Someone's the main character because they're broken, because they're missing something everyone else has. They're worse than everyone else, so their struggle matters more. They're special in that they suck ass at everything. They're horrible at everything. So they struggle to not be garbage at everything. That is a beautiful struggle to me. You're in a horrible world filled with terrible things and monsters that are so much more powerful than you will likely ever be. But that doesn't have to be that way. You can struggle to make your way up to their level. And it is the struggle that the joy comes from, the struggle of it, that I find beautiful. It's the struggle. But what was I talking about? Right. So everything in my campaign came about organically. It came about from a player asking a question and me knowing there was no answer to that question, but making it up on the fly and seeing what my players' reactions were. And then later on, I'd rewatch the session, and then I would begin writing things down. Then I begin creating. Then I begin actually creating a foundation to the house that I built essentially on the fly. I don't even know if there's a really good metaphor for it. Like, I'm putting feet underneath something that was just floating midair, but slowly falling towards the ground. And the moment it hits the ground is that moment where you don't have something, where your tank is empty. Because you could set up something mysterious for your players, but then you need to pay off. You need to pay off, and it needs to be fantastic. It needs to blow their minds. It needs to be something new and original and pushes the boundaries of everything that you've written so far. So you want to take it to the next step with each campaign that you go through. It needs to be another level beyond. It needs to keep moving forward. It needs to progress. This is what I long for. This is what has to happen. It needs to go further, develop, improve, expand. And I hit the end of that with what I felt was the climax of the Skylarkian campaign, is fighting either the heroes of the campaign, like the legendary figures that when you start off as a new player, a new level 1 character, you're like, this is the greatest swordsman in the world. And midway through your adventures, you find him, and like he saves your life. Like you're in a battle with a dragon, and you're fighting it, and you're bloody, and people have been knocked unconscious, and people have lost arms and stuff. It's bitten some dude in half. He's dead. He's been brought back to life, but the dragon's like casting all this weird magic that you guys have never seen before. Crazy shit's going on, and players are just losing their mind, having to pull out all of their tricks, all of the aces up their sleeve. You as the DM are doing things to make it interesting. Everyone's having a good time. And then in the last moments, you just throw some crazy shit in because you think it'll be funny, because you just want to watch your players suffer and struggle some more. And that, because I love that as a player, that struggle. I have found players that love it too. You gotta love that suffering, that struggle, because only at the end, only after that blissful victory in hopeless, the most abhorrent situations possible, do you get that. I don't know how to explain it. It's everything that could have went wrong, and we found a way out somehow. It's that. That is what it is. And that kind of happened at the end. There were a few ends to the story, my stories. Some better than others, as any DM will explain, will know. That's it. That's the end of the video. Nothing else I have to say right now.